My name is Nyabouy Gatbel. I was born in a refugee camp in Ethiopia because of the South Sudanese civil war. No one was safe in the south. You're being killed because of the color of your skin. So if you were a darker skinned African like myself, you were in danger, and therefore you fled the country. As a result of that, I was born in a refugee camp in Ethiopia because that was the only place that was safe. It's almost like a death sentence, because first of all, if you really care about the people there and you want to get them out of poverty, you give them education. Dropping a whole bunch of sack of maize every now and then is not going to solve anything. So I think the lack of education, the lack of infrastructure, there was nothing there, it was just hollow. And I felt like if they really did care, there would be more to it than just dropping food every now and then, which is genetically modified corn, which is even worse, you know. So I'm at an age where I'm 20 and I don't even know my own birthday. During the war, the people in the refugee camps didn't have adequate access to education, meaning that a lot of people were born without record, no documentation. So a lot of the birthdays were recorded in traditional oral ways. No one wrote down anything. Therefore, my parents only know the year I was born and the month I was born, but they don't know the date. So I grew up in the refugee camp for 8 years of my life. As a child, my dad was a preacher in the refugee camp, so he always had faith that God was going to take us out. So we never felt hopeless. We always knew, in a matter, whether it's a decade or 5 years or whatever, we will always get out. I think it's having that belief that you deserve better and that you can get better. But the hard part is when you come to the West, you have to deal with racism. Canada's made of so many cultures that what does it mean to be Canadian, right? There's no one particular culture that makes Canada Canada. It's a whole bunch. I can't be naive, you know. I know here in the West, when people come here or we're born here, we're sheltered. We don't see poverty. We don't see war. We don't see struggle. We're kind of sheltered from all of that. Coming from that, I can't turn a blind eye to what's going on around the world. I'm more aware of what's happening around the world because I come from a place of poverty and of the third world, so I'm always understanding what's happening in the Middle East, Asia, Australia, Brazil. I want to know because I've been affected and somebody cared enough about me for me to be here right now. I want to do more things because I know that there's no boundaries, there's no limitations than the one that I set for myself. So I want to do the same thing for others. So a lot of the people born in the refugee camps, or a lot of people who have refugee parents, a lot of their goals is to go to school, achieve a university degree, and eventually go back home to go help build, schools, hospitals, and other infrastructure that's needed. Because in reality, it's us who have to go back to civilize our own countries, because we have knowledge, we have education, therefore there's no point of let it go to waste. So we go back and help our countries, and we go help our own citizens to evolve. So we are the change we're looking for. I volunteer a lot in the community. We do a lot of events for the South Sudanese community to understand about the war and what's going on. At the moment right now, we have a war going on within the country itself, a civil war. And so our job is to educate the kids to understand the dynamics within the country and why we're still at war and why there's so much tribalism, so much hate. So the only way to achieve peace, in my opinion, within my own community is to educate ourselves about the war. The message I want to send to the youth is that it does not matter the situation you're born in, you can always get out, you can always evolve. Sometimes when we're born in certain circumstances, we let it define us, we let it oppress us. I just want the youth to know that they can become all that they want to be as long as they believe in themselves, and that they use the resources and opportunities available to them around them. There's always a way out of their situation. We should refrain from judging people, because we have no idea what people go through on a daily basis. I think we tend to judge on gender, hair, skin color, weight, or the religion people belong to, and people have to understand that we're not meant to all be the same. We're all supposed to be different and diverse, but within our diversity to accept each other as human beings. So no one is right and no one is wrong. As long as you're at peace with the life you're living, no one should have the right to judge you. The advice I would give is that we have to understand that, okay, we're all human and we're all flawed, but at the same time we have to learn how to agree, to disagree at times. We're not always going to agree on things, and we have to let people be human. So if somebody wants to be a Muslim, let them be. If someone wants to be a Christian, let them be. If they want to be a Buddhist, let them be. If a woman wants to run a country, let her be. As long as they have good intentions and they treat everybody equally, that's my opinion. I just think war is very useless. A lot of this could be solved through talking and understanding each other, because war doesn't solve anything, it just makes things worse.